So Cathie Wood from ARK Invest says that Tesla is one of the safest cars there is.
Understand why this is going to take off. So this is a measure of safety. How many miles between accidents for the average car on the road?
Don't know.
Now, this is on surface street driving, not highway. Okay, so surface street, the hardest, 190,000 miles on average.
Okay.
In a Tesla without FSD, that number is roughly 600,000 miles. In a Tesla with FSD, it is 3.2 million miles.
Wow.
So again, this is how Volvo made its brand and its name was safety.
Sure.
So.
Do you hear that, people? For any car that does not have some sort of full self-driving or getting close to a full self-driving driver assist, a person who's driving a car is most likely to get into an accident every 190,000 miles, which is a lot of miles before you get into an accident. But on the other hand, simply just by being in a Tesla that is not in full self-driving mode, just being in a Tesla, they will experience a car accident every 600,000 miles, which is way further away from 190,000 miles. Not that big of a gap, but pretty large of a gap. Basically, if you're inside of a Tesla that is not in full self-driving mode, it has 8 cameras on it, so it has a better advantage than other cars, and it reacts a lot better than a person because it's looking around the car at all angles, which a person can't do. They can't turn their head 360 while driving unless, you're the exorcist or something like that. But that's the difference, is that it has 8 cameras and it's assisting you looking around to make sure that you don't run into anything. Pretty much it's like assisting you, even though you don't have full self-driving mode on, but just simply being inside of a Tesla, this is what it offers. It is assisting you without it even being in full self-driving mode, which is pretty awesome. So that does help reduce the chance of you getting into an accident because the cameras around the car will slow you down before you run into something. Of course, other cars do have that too, but they don't have the 8 cameras around it. So, this is a different value that Tesla is offering to people who are not inside of their full self-driving mode, which is still awesome. But then you see, if you are in full self-driving mode, the chances of you getting into an accident would be every 3.2 million miles. Now, that is a complete light year, like a complete leap. That's absurd, but pretty awesome. Just knowing that if you're in a Tesla that is in full self-driving mode, which basically means it's completely taking over driving. You just sit back, monitor the road with your eyes, look at the road, touch the steering wheel every so often just to make sure that it knows you're not falling asleep, blah, blah, blah. But that is crazy just to know that the car is driving for you and is fully aware more than any person can ever be. Because remember, this car can see 360 all around at all angles. So it's definitely doing a way better job than any human being can ever do when it comes to driving. A lot of people will disagree and say, no, that's baloney, but that's fine. Your opinion is your opinion, but the facts don't care about your opinions or your feelings. This is just what it is. All major car companies are in the race to figure out full self-driving. A lot of people probably don't even know about this. Like in the West Coast, you see cars that have LiDAR on them, the Cruise cars and the Waymo cars, even though they just got pulled off the streets because people were getting frustrated with how they were working. But that's because they were using a very expensive system called LiDAR instead of using Tesla's approach, which is just using cameras and a neural net, which is pretty much like us humans. We have our eyeballs, which are cameras, and our brains, which are neural net. So that's pretty intriguing that they are figuring out how to do this bit by bit, and we are getting closer to the point to where you will be able to just sit back and relax and let the car take you wherever you want, and you don't have to stress about worrying if someone's going to run into you or you run into somebody or someone just hitting your car and hitting and run, whatever. All that stuff is going to change, especially when every single car starts to adapt having the full self-driving system inside of it. Cars will get so much better at driving to the point to where we barely ever see car accidents again. The thing is about the Tesla cars is that they learn how to drive every day. You see, they're part of a big database, like a big mothership brain. And all the cars, once a car learns something like a new scenario, all the cars learn it. All the Tesla cars learn it. They all are updated every single hour. They're learning. Millions and millions of miles are being driven, and they are the only car company that has this data. So they pretty much will be the first ones to solve it, unless someone comes out of nowhere and solves it, which we think may be a little impossible. But if it does happen, sure. But as of now, Tesla has a lead that is unassailable. No one is going to be able to catch up to Tesla's data lead on self-driving information. So you can only guess what they're going to do next. They're going to lease it out to other car companies. Yeah, I know a lot of you might say baloney, but the truth is the truth. We're going to see. And I know we're not too far away from that date, which is why I'm investing my money into Tesla. This is not financial advice or telling you what to do, but I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to miss the boat, but we'll see what happens, right? Well, thanks for tuning in again. Another short rant. I'll be back again tomorrow, posting every day at 3 o'clock. More information about Tesla, big tech, and where the automotive industry is going. I'll see you guys next time. See you tomorrow.